Okay, just like talked about in class, we're going to work on the curved geometry in perspective assignment. Okay, we went over this in class, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the different profiles. We've got extrusions, lofts, and revolves. We're going to start with the extrusion. So if you see right here, again, on this page, I'm giving you just the profile in two-dimensional view. What the hope is that you will work on extrapolating this into a perspective sketch, okay? And so we've got the extrusions are just a single profile, and you can see that this is an open, and that's a closed profile. These right here, we've got our lofts, two open lofts, and two open lofts. And so what that means is that of these 6 profiles, I will actually see a little bit of the inside as a dark part of my sketch. Then we have these revolves, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So let's start with the first profile, profile 1. So with profile 1, what I want to do is I want to draw this curve in perspective. Okay, and so there's a couple ways that I can do this. I can start by drawing I can draw a long 2-point perspective box and then have my cube and then draw in there. So I know that this is going to take up most of the box, so I'll just start and draw my cube from that. And this is roughly the center, and so I'm going to want to make sure that the pinnacle of this arc that I'm drawing right here is at the top. So I'm going to draw. Okay, and then I'm going to draw one in the back. And then I'm just going to connect the dots. Okay, and so then this one being open, I'm going to see that line on the inside. So that is one way to build this using a cube. See, all my lines are nice and open, nice and loose. Another way is that I could just draw 2 lines in perspective and then draw a center line down that. Vertical here. And then I'm just going to draw I draw my lines, and so then I'm just going to connect the back, connect the top, and then this should go from here to here because this is open, and then I'll come back, and I'm going to darken these up. Okay. When you get comfortable with this, then you can just draw Now notice when I'm drawing these things, I've made sure that that line goes all the way to the back. I darken this part up because this part's actually visible on the outside of my sketch. I have this darker line and I'm drawing all the way through my object. Okay, that's one to be able to do for just profile 1. So it would be, this is, the requirements are on Moodle, but profile 1, 1 through 5. Okay. So this is just an extrusion. The concept of an extrusion is it's one shape pushed through in perspective, almost kind of like a Play-Doh. The next, lofts. The loft is a combination or a connection, a surface connection of two shapes. You'll see this a lot in 3D modeling, especially in Rhino, but I have two profiles here, one smaller than the other, and I'm gonna use those to create this next form. So I can start with my cube again. Okay, so I have my cube, and I know that my back profile on this, my back profile is larger than my front profile, so I'm going to draw my back profile. And understand that if they're not the same width, that's fine, but I just want there to be a differentiation. Now this is taking up the entire piece, but this one is not, so I will make it so I have a smaller one in front and a bigger one in back. I'm using this two-point perspective cube to be able to develop my, my actual perspective grid. Next, all I do is I'm going to connect from one to the other, and then connect outsides tangentially. And then this bottom corner goes to that corner. Okay, that's that. Now, to do it quicker, okay, so I'm doing this and I'm doing this perspective grid. I'm just, again, just drawing where the center is. And I want this one to be this tall and I want this one to be this tall. So they're going to be different heights, you know, something like that. I'm going to draw, whoops. Okay, so I have my corners, connect the outside, connect the top, and then connect this back line. Okay, or I could just do, you know, here's a small one. Here's a bigger one, boom, boom, boom. And then come back and darken up the lines. Okay, so this will be Adam Feld, profile 4, 1 through 5. Lastly, in this assignment, we have 2 revolves. So the revolve is basically, I've got a dotted line here, and I've got this profile. And what we're going to do is assume that this profile is connected to this middle dotted line, and it's just going to spin around in a circle. So if I'm looking at it from top view, I have this circle or this line just like this. My dotted line is right here, and I'm just going to rotate that around that dotted line in this circle. Okay. Now, if we look at this, one thing that I want you to focus on are the edges, the corners. I've got 1, 2, and 3 corners on the outside of this revolve 1. Revolve 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corners. So anytime we see a corner, what we want to do is we want to put an ellipse. Okay, and so basically what we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing an ellipse on top. And as we start going down, again, we've got it really tight as an ellipse, but as we start going down, it becomes more of a circle. And so for this one, we're going to have one on top, a slightly smaller one on the inside, and then a big one on the bottom. So then I'm going to, okay, so I have these 3 ellipses, and I should, they should be kind of dead center in this, this line right here. They're not perfect, but we're gonna pretend they are. I can connect the dots right here, and I create this bottom, and then all I gotta do is just bulbous out. And so now what I do is I just got my bulbous coming down. Okay, and so you can see that this is just this kind of, kind of weird shape right here, this vase kind of shape. I can do it again, and what I'll do is this time, I can draw my dotted line first, profile, 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 connect the dots, and then this time I'm going to go really far out. Okay, and so then I can just come back through and I have my shape. And then this would be Adam Feld, 1 through 5. Revolve 1. And then for the absolute last part of this assignment, I'll show you revolve 2. You know what? We won't do that on the video.